Ayan. Is everyone seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So managing information security. The first half of the managing information security, we have three topics: the need for controls, control strategies, and types of controls. So the need for controls, access authorities, and physical system security. There are two principles of control upon information systems in organizations. One is the need to ensure the accuracy of the data being held by the organization and the need to protect those data against loss or damage. Common threats faced by organizational information systems. So these are accidents, natural disasters, sabotage with industrial sabotage and individual sabotage, vandalism, theft, unauthorized use or hacking, and computer viruses and malware. So, accidents. Several estimates suggest that 40 to 65% of all damage caused to information systems or corporate data arises as a result of human error. Human error happens frequently in organizations due to reasons such as inaccurate data entry, tasks beyond employees' ability, failure to comply with procedural standards, proper data verification, and etc. So, lahat naman tayo familiar dun sa human error. Kaya, nowadays, ang ginagawa natin is ina-automate natin almost everything para maging default na yung ginagawa natin para ma-avoid na rin yung human error and invalid data entries. Next is natural disasters. All information systems are susceptible to damage caused by natural phenomena such as storms, lightning strikes, floods, and earthquakes. So, yung mga unavoidable situation na to kaya nagawa natin yung mga strategic plans such as disaster recovery for situations like this. So, sabotage. Individual sabotage is typically carried out by a disgruntled employee who wishes to exact some form of revenge upon their employer. So, for example, si employee may access siya sa data, then may grudge siya against dun sa company. So, yun yung tinatawag na individual sabotage pag sinabotage niya yung data or other company property. Industrial sabotage tends to be carried out for some kind of competitive or financial gain. Ito yung ginagawa ng mga rival companies para makalamang sila dun sa competitors nila. Spreading bad news that isa dun yung spreading bad news or hiring inside jobs to cause damage to their rival companies. Employees may feel threatened by the new system and may wish to avoid making use of it, which is referred to as unintentional sabotage. Sa mga ibang companies, yung mga employees nila, pag merong bagong system na more innovative and di sila sanay, di nila gagamitin. Parang yung mga old people, ayaw nila na ginagamit yung mga bago. Kaya, yun, parang unintentional sabotage ang tawag doon. Vandalism. Deliberate damage caused to hardware, software, and data is considered a serious threat to information system security. Yan yung pag nag-cause ng nasira yung server, yung workstation, or the data inside. So, nakaka-apekto yun sa system. Theft. Physical theft, as the term implies, involves the theft of hardware and software. Data theft normally involves making copies of important files without causing any harm to the originals. However, if the original files are destroyed or damaged, then the value of the copied data is automatically increased. Yan yung mga sa mga black market, kunyari. Mga rare data na kinuha nila. Unauthorized use or hacking. One of the most common security risks in relation to computerized information systems. Breaches are accidental in that employees are unaware that particular sets of information are restricted. Malware. Shorthand term for malicious software. Malware typically consists of codes developed by cyber attackers designed to cause extensive damage to data and systems or to gain unauthorized access to a network. So, alam naman siguro natin yung ibig sabihin ng malware and kung ano yung nagagawa nito sa ating mga system, kahit sa personal desktops natin. So, next is computer viruses. Computer virus is malware attached to another program, such as a document, which can replicate and spread after an initial execution on a target system where human interaction is required. So, sa term, virus, para ang purpose niya talaga is kumakalat siya. So, para mahirapan matanggal and nasisira din ito yung internal processes. Many viruses are harmful and can destroy data, slow down system resources, and log keystrokes. Next will be control strategies. Strategies for reducing threats to information system. We have containment, deterrence, obfuscation, and recovery. So containment. The strategy of containment attempts to control access to an information system. There are three approaches to this. One approach involves making potential threats as unattractive as possible. A common method involves creating the impression that the target's information system contains data of little or no value. Second approach involves creating an effective series of defenses against potential threats. And a third approach involves removing the target information from potential threats. So, main purpose niya is kino-contain nila yung sa pag-control ng access sa system as few as possible para mas safe. So, deterrence. It's a canceling strategy siya. A strategy based upon deterrence uses the threats of punishment to discourage potential intruders. One common approach involves constantly advertising and reinforcing the penalties for unauthorized access. A second approach involves attempting to detect potential threats as early as possible. Then, a third approach involves predicting likely areas of attack and then implementing appropriate defenses or countermeasures. Obfuscation. Obfuscation concerns itself with hiding or distributing assets so that any damage caused can be limited. So ito yung strategy na pagkakalat ng mga lethal na mga mahalagang assets na like servers para hindi one fell swoop pag na-damage yung isa. One common approach involves monitoring all of the organization's activities, not just those related to the use of its information systems. A second approach involves carrying out regular audits of data, hardware, software, and security measures. The dispersal of assets across several locations can be used to discourage potential intruders and can also limit the damage caused by a successful attack. Last is recovery. A strategy based upon recovery recognizes that no matter how well defended, a breach in the security of an information will eventually occur. So it's better to be ready kasi inevitable naman talaga yung mga situation na ganyan. So dito nagawa yung plans like disaster recovery, which is the development of emergency procedures that deal with several contingency is essential if a successful recovery is to take place. In large organization, a backup site might be created so that data processing can be switched to a secondary site immediately in the event of an emergency. So yung mga large organizations like yung mga bangko, meron sila mga DR site para pag halimbawa nagka-shortage or blackout, makakalipat kaagad sila dun sa DR site nila. In anticipating damage or loss, a great deal of emphasis is placed upon backup procedures and recovery measures. So, types of controls. Major categories of controls upon information system. So we have physical protection, biometric controls, telecommunication controls, failure controls, and auditing. Physical protection involves the use of physical barriers intended to protect against theft and unauthorized access. The reasoning behind this approach is simple. If access to rooms and equipment is restricted, risk of theft and vandalism are reduced. Sa mga malalaking company, di ba, every room parang may access card sila na certain person na lang yung pwede. Next is biometric controls. These controls make use of the unique characteristics of individual in order to restrict access to sensitive information or equipment. Scanners that check fingerprints, voice prints, or even retinal patterns are example of biometric controls. Telecommunication controls. These controls helps to verify the identity of a particular user. Common types of communication controls include password and user validation routines. Example nito yung sa mga ating telecoms, sa Globe, Smart PLDT. Pag halimbawa may nagtatanong ka ng balance mo or yung internet speed mo, nagtatanong sila ng mga information na mag-validate na ikaw yung owner talaga ng account na nagplan. Failure controls. Failure controls attempt to limit or avoid damage caused by the failure of an information system. Typical example includes recovery procedure and regular backups of data. Lastly is auditing. Auditing involves taking stock of procedures, hardware, software, and data at regular intervals. And software and data audits can be carried out automatically with an appropriate program. Auditing software works by scanning the hard disk drives of any computers, terminals, and servers attached to a network system. In many organizations, auditing programs are also used to keep track of software licenses and allow companies to ensure that they are operating within the terms of their license agreements. Example nitong auditing yung sa mga ating mga system. May audit trail sila, di ba? Para malaman kung ano, yung every action na nangyari dun sa system na nakakonect dun sa server. Para malaman kung yung every data na manipulate ng mga tao. So, mahalaga yun para makita yung fault if ever something arises. So, that's my end of my presentation. The second half of the other half of the Managing Information Security will be reported by Sir Emerico.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Let me share my screen now.
Okay, sir.
Kita po ba yung screen ko?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll be discussing the second phase of Chapter 15, Managing Information Security. Next slide. So here are the topics that I'll be discussing. First is some techniques for controlling information systems. Second, threats related to internet services. Third is malware. So some techniques for controlling information systems, there are 6 that I'll be discussing further. 1, formal security policies. 2, passwords. 3, file encryption. 4, organizational procedures. 5, user validation techniques. 6, backup procedures. So first, formal security policies, it's the simplest and most effective control. It's a formulation of a comprehensive amongst a wide variety of items such as policy will outline. So there are 4 items here. What is considered to be acceptable use of the information systems? What is considered unacceptable use of the information system? The sanctions available in the event that an employee does not comply with a security policy. And lastly, details of the controls in place, including their form and function and plans for developing this further. So usually, sa organization natin, meron na silang ganito. And we have different security policies. If you've been to multiple companies, meron silang kanya-kanyang policies na they build for their own organization. But there are some common policies that is common across all. That's why most of the companies, multinational companies, get certifications, ISO certifications that's being followed and implemented across the globe. Okay, so second, passwords. So obviously, represents one of the most common forms of protection for computer-based information systems. Provides a simple, inexpensive means of restricting access to equipment and sensitive data. Third is file encryption, additional layer of protection for sensitive data can be provided by making use of encryption techniques. Modern encryption methods rely upon the use of one or more keys. One example, if PGP, if you remember, we've discussed this previously in one of our classes. And in my organization, we use this to encrypt our hard drive. So before I can log into my laptop, there's a PGP that will pop up on my laptop, and I need to enter a code before I can go into Windows login and enter my ID and password. Number 4, procedures. Under normal circumstances, a set of procedures for the use of an information system will arise from creational and formal security policy. Fifth, user validation. Checks made to ensure the user is permitted access to a system. Also known as access control systems, they often involve usernames, passwords, but can also include biometric techniques such as if you remember guys, yung thumb and palm secure. There are some organizations that use this technology. In my organization, we use palm secure whenever we enter the server room. So I'll just put my hand and it will scan the nerves of my palms, and then the door will open and I can enter. Okay, so 6, backup procedures. Common procedure used for creating backup copies of important data files. So types of backups that we have, incremental backup and full backup. So incremental includes only those files that have been changed in some way since the last backup was made. So ito uso to sa mga servers natin, no? Because like in my organization in Fujitsu, we are running monthly backups to our servers. So every end of the month, there's backups. We are backing up the server, but we do it incrementally, meaning only changes or updates that's been made, yun lang binabackup namin. So it will save storage and avoid yung duration ng pag-backup ng data. Unlike yung letter B is full backup, it's a method of producing copies of important data files by including all the data files considered to be important. Okay, moving on. Threats related to internet services. 1, denial of service. This is a form of attack on company information systems that involves flooding the company's internet servers with huge amount of traffic. Such as attacks effectively halt all the company's internet service. 2 is brand abuse. This describes a wide range of activities ranging from the sale of counterfeit goods to exploiting a well-known brand name for commercial gain. And the third one, cyber squatting, the act of registering an internet domain with the intention of selling it for profit to an interested party. An example with the name of a celebrity might be registered and then offered for sale at an extremely high price. Fourth one, cyber stalking. This refers to the use of the internet as a means of harassing another individual. Relating activity is known as corporate stalking, where an organization uses its resources to harass individuals or business competitors. Fifth, cyberterrorism. This describes the attacks made on information systems that are motivated by political or religious beliefs. And six, online stock fraud. Most online stock fraud involves posting false information to internet in order to increase and decrease the values of stocks. So if you guys are aware, most of these are in the US. These are the issues that being thrown to Facebook because Facebook as a platform is very high risk for these types of services, and most of them are being abused, by some organizations or some countries that commit crimes like this one. All right. Next, malware. So what is a malware? The term malware, malicious software, is a generic term for software intended to gather confidential information from a computer system or cause harm to valuable data. In general, malware can be broken into a number of categories, each of which is discussed in more details in the following sections. So one would be computer viruses, obviously. Two is Trojan and keyloggers. Three is spyware. So if you know, these are as an IT professional, we are already familiar on these terminologies. So one, computer virus. This is a computer program that is capable of self-replication, allowing it to spread from one infected machine to another. So usually ito it, this can spread through thumb drives, yung mga infected na USB natin na pinag natin sa computer natin, and it will inject the virus to our operating systems. So that's one example. So number two, Trojan and keyloggers. Two other kinds of programs are related to computer viruses, worms and Trojans. So first, worm, a small program that moves through a computer system randomly, changing or overwriting piece of data as it moves. B, Trojan. A Trojan represents itself as a legitimate program in order to gain access to a computer system, and they are often used as a delivery systems for computer viruses. Third, spyware describes a category of software intended to collect and transmit confidential information without the knowledge or consent of a computer user. It's also produced and disseminated as adware. Adware means advertising supported software. So adware describes a type of software that contains spyware intended to monitor a user's online activities, usually so that advertising can be targeted more accurately. Yep, so basically that's it. Just some key takeaways just to share with everyone. Um, Today kasi it's a holiday in Australia, so I've been watching Netflix. Very ironic lang. Yung nakapanood na ba nung Spycraft sa Netflix? It was just recently released. It's very ironic. It's very related to the topic that Josh and I are discussing. So if you are interested, you can watch that in Netflix. And actually, most of the topics are being discussed there, like yung mga spywares, adwares, and yung sabotage between US, Russia, North Korea. So I really recommend you guys watch it. Watch it whenever you're free. And that's it. Q&A, any other questions? Anyone in this call would like to raise clarifications? Okay, if there's none, thanks everyone for listening and have a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Last call. Anybody who'd like to ask the reporters a few questions about security? Okay, if there's none, I'll stop recording again. Stop recording for now.